Here we go, Basement Tapes 294, and as promised, we're going to talk a little bit more about hockey here. The 1976-77 Topps hockey set. I don't know what you Canadian people do during the summer months. Perhaps you stay in sides because you might melt. Not sure if you're still trying to skate on your ponds, but these are the kind of things that go through my mind. I'm worried about you guys and global warming and all that stuff. So, cheers to my friends in Canada, a wonderful bunch of people. I love Canada. I love Canadian music. I do not like Canadian pizza. I like the Looney. I like the Niagara Falls Canadian side better than the Niagara Falls United States side. I also love Vancouver. Vancouver is probably my favorite city in North America. So if you aren't down with the Canadians, you're no friend of mine. And these set here, 76-77 Topps hockey, has a lot of Canadians in it, of course. I've got 135 of these currently. Let's see where that stands in the annals of 76-77 Topps hockey. Says there's 264 of them, average value $1.46 to $384.95 is the total value. Set of these between $100 and $200. You're not going to get rich, folks, on 76-77 Topps hockey unless you're rich with memories, and I am because I have about half the set, and I couldn't be happier to possess that many of these cards. The 1976-77 Topps set contains 264 color standard size cards. The fronts contain team name, logo, at the top with player name and position at the bottom. The backs feature the 75, 76, and career statistics, career highlights, and a cartoon illustrated fact. The first cards of Colorado Rockies, formerly Kansas City players appear this year. Rookie cards in the set include Brian Trottier and Dennis Maruk. 19 rookie cards, it says total there. Let's look at the top three. Again, Colorado Rockies was a hockey team, folks. So if you're grabbing your bats and your gloves, put them down. You need your waffle boards, and you need your girdles because that's what's going down here. Brian Trottier and Ken Dryden and Bobby Orr tied for first place. What a bang-up gang that is on the top of the podium. Guy Lafleur, number 2, and Brian Trottier, record breaker, number 3. So Brian Trottier coming in hard. Perhaps a torch passage from Bobby Orr to Brian Trottier. We are looking forward to seeing how that progresses in future years. Here it is versus TCDB. According to TCDB, I like the design. It might not be for everybody, but I like it. It's unique. It's asymmetrical and has everything you need on the front there. Let's see the teams represented here. The Atlanta Flames, Boston Bruins, Buffalo Sabres, California Golden Seals, Chicago Blackhawks, Detroit Red Wings, Kansas City Scouts, Los Angeles Kings, Minnesota North Stars, Montreal Canadiens, New York Islanders, New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, St. Louis Blues, Toronto Maple Leafs, Vancouver Canucks, and the Washington Capitals. Interestingly enough here, there is no Colorado Rockies, according to TCDB. See how that develops. Hall of Famers, there's 43 of them. There's leaders, there's all-stars, there's rookie cards like Trottier. There's the French Connection, Rick Martin, Gilles Pereira, and Rene Robert, card number 14. There's the LCB line of Bill Barber, Bobby Clark, and Reggie Leach. The Long Island Lightning Company, Clark Gillies, Brian Trottier, and Billy Harris. There's the checking line of Bob Gainey, Doug Jarvis, and Jim Roberts. They're all Hall of Fame cards to some extent in there. Let's get over to the rookies. The rookies say 20 of them. Mel Bridgman, Bob McMillan, Rick Lapointe, Bob Murdoch, Michel Bergeron, Dennis Maruk, Nelson Payette, Ed Staniowski, Brian Trottier, Tim Young, Yves Bellinger, Dave Maloney, Pete Lopresti, Bill Nyrup, Kurt Ridley, Heartland Monahan, Hank Nowak, Bernie Wolf, John Bednarski, and Rick Blight. So lots of names that I can't pronounce in there. The packaging here is the wax box is just a feast. There is a big hockey, looking like it's carved in ice block, picture cards, bubble gum, hockey players there. Looks like the Capitals versus the Maple Leafs. There's a 15-cent marker on there and an NHL shield. It says 1976-77 Topps box. I think that was superimposed on there. Extra wallet-size superstar photo card in every pack. Of course, that's the glossy. We've been there. We've done that. Man, what a nice box. There's the 15-cent wax box. 4 boxes, 36 count. So the wax boxes were rather tiny, containing 4 boxes. They're oblong, these boxes, 36 packers. So maybe that's why. There is another box. I don't know what that is. A case, I should say, a case of somethings. So that's a bigger 16 36 count case of cards. There's the wrappers. The wax wrappers are blue, breaking a trend of the 76 stranglehold on red wrappers. We have hockey. We have the curved Topps tee. Photo card in every pack with 1 stick of bubblegum. There's an NHL wastebasket on order. There's the card killer. Sports lockers. Full color NHL cartoon embroidered patches are available as a enticement to buy these for a mere $1 and some sort of wrapper and all that stuff. So you would send that to St. Paul, Minnesota, which is one of the American capitals of hockey, I'm sure. No comments here, no trivia. People aren't talking about this. Loose lips sink ships, apparently. Let's get to the gallery. There we are. We're starting off with our leaders, Reggie Leach, Bobby Clark. The Flyers were a pretty big deal back then, folks. Guy Lafleur still banging away there as our scoring leader. He would get a lot of assists and a lot of goals, a combination of. He wouldn't lead in goals. He wouldn't lead in assists, but he would lead in points, and that's a pretty big thing. Penalty minutes, there are your thugs. Wouldn't be a thug card without a flyer on the front of it. Power play goals, there's 5 people on there, and it's crowded. And there's a lot of Hall of Famers, Potvin and Guy Lafleur and Phil Esposito. All in their practice jerseys, it looks to me to be the case. Goals against average, all that stuff. And then we get right into the cards. The cards, there's that kind of swooping team name at the top. There's the logo at the top left, the player's name, the player's position on a big, thick white border. Some action shots here, some post shots, a little bit of both. So Bernie Parent, it does not want to be seen at all. He looks like a ladybug. When you flick a ladybug, it gets into its shell and it doesn't come out for quite a long time. That's Bernie Parent in that photo. Let's keep moving on here. Dennis Hextall, he is posed in front of a sheet of whiteness. Dennis O'Brien, same with you. Look at those Jerry Meehan, those Capitals uniforms with the stars up there. Looking pretty important. 3 stars on each shoulder. There's the Seals. Gilles Meloche. Love those Seals unis. Bring them back. Kansas City Scouts right there. There's I hadn't seen that logo before, but I haven't been paying attention. But Wilf Payment has himself an Indian on a horse with a KC logo there. So that's a unique, very unique logo in NHL history. Leafs, of course, looking like Leafs as they do. Kings, all that stuff. There's Kansas City Scouts. Not sure where the Colorado Rockies come into this. I think Beckett may have, I don't know. Beckett may have, maybe we have met. Did I read that wrong in Beckett? Let's take a look here. Let's see what Beckett OPG has to say here. The first cards of the Colorado Rocky players appear this year. So I think Beckett got it wrong. So sorry about that, Beckett. Team photos here. Man, look at that. That's the way it should be. You get to see the arena in the background. The rink, the barn. We have some not so quite floating heads from the Blackhawks. They're more like floating bodies. Looks like a class photo or a fraternity composite, as they say. I'm not sure what's going on in Detroit, but the ice looks green. Maybe somebody can tell me that every St. Patrick's Day they painted the ice green, or maybe it's just some sort of photo correction that they've done there. The Scouts, they're still in Kansas City, folks. Please alert everybody in Colorado and Beckett that they're on their way. Kansas City Scouts only had 7 cards in this set, which is interesting, as did the Kings. I find that interesting because the Red Wings had a fair amount. The Blackhawks had a fair amount. So there's some teams here underrepresented, the Golden Seals as well. a little bit of perhaps bias there against some of the newer teams, but there's a couple teams that are woefully underrepresented. The St. Louis Blues would be another one. They've got 7 cards in there, as do the Maple Leafs, and they're one of the original 6. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Canucks, Capitals. Anyway, there's Dave Schultz. He's the hammer. He's card number 150. Let's read about Dave Schultz. NHL playing record. We got green and we got blue and we got purple on the back of these cards on gray stock. A beautiful little smorgasbord of color. It has his NFL and NHL playing record, both 75, 76, and lifetime. Card number 150 is called out there in a hockey puck, a two-tone hockey puck, should I say. Dave Schultz, height 6'1", weight 190, shoots left. First pro season 70-71, acquired 1969 amateur draft. He is born 10/14/49 in Waldheim, Saskatchewan. Home is also in Waldheim, Sask. Dave is the Flyers' man of the hour when a strong, aggressive approach is necessary. He holds several penalty minute records in both the NHL and the AHL. 1976 Topps Chewing Gum Inc., printed in USA. 1976 NHL Players Association. Says here's Dave's nickname is the Hammer. Look for NHL products. Just telling you to keep an eye out for NHL products, folks. I don't know whether that's a cautionary tale or whether that is something that a promissory note, perhaps. Lou Nanne. Who doesn't like a little Lou Nanne on defense? Tom Lisiak at the Atlanta Flames running around there with his big old hair. Dennis Ververgert, he looks like he's in a Little River Band in that picture. I love the old Vancouver Canucks single hockey stick logo. I'm sure it has a dual meaning, but to me, it's very simple. Maybe it looks like a C on there. Anyway, I like the way it looks. And Gary Simmons, not Richard Simmons, but Gary Simmons, a side part he chose for this picture, not the biparting look of Dennis Ververgaard, but Gary Simmons decided to part on the right. And then Pierre Bouchard, he looks like Magnum PI just found out the bad guy got away. Billy Barber, first team All-Star there. And we go on and on and on. Let's fast forward here. Vic Vanaski is a ginger. He is a King's ginger. How many times we've seen that during the history of the royal secession line. I'm not sure how many gingers are in there, but Vic Vanaski is a king for sure. There are the French Connection cards we talked about, and the Flyers cards, and the Long Island Lightning, and the checking line, and the Bicentennial line. No Hall of Famers in there, but we have the Bicentennial line from Pittsburgh. Blue sweaters, gorgeous, gorgeous. Bob Kelly, he's a Flyer, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the 76, 77 Topps hockey. We see the checklist there in baby blue. Not a lot of these guys are celebrating the bicentennial, of course, because they are still subjects of the Queen, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. But hopefully they do get some the day off, perhaps, because once the Americans take off, the whole continent shuts down, I'm sure. So they probably got a free day off without even having to do any without any shots fired. So kudos to Canada for once again winning. A Stanley Cup card 264 is pretty cool. It has the playoff brackets there, and cool to see how that progresses. Of course, the Canadians would win the Stanley Cup in the bicentennial year. Thanks for that. People appreciate that. So anyway, there is your 1976-77 Topps and Topps only hockey set, Basement Tapes number 294. Thanks for listening, watching, and feeling the vibe here in the basement.